So let me tell you one mistake I see homeowners make pretty much every hurricane season. They end up waiting and they don't realize how much risk that actually adds. So I want to talk about hurricane season, not in a scary way, salesy, just straightforward, because this is a conversation I end up having every year. And unfortunately, it usually happens after the storm. I'll walk into a home, windows are broken, there's water damage, sometimes the roof is compromised, and the homeowner says something along the lines of, we were actually planning on doing the roof or planning on doing the windows. We were thinking about replacing it next year, or we didn't think the storm would be that bad. That's the part that really gets to me, because none of these people were irresponsible. They weren't careless. They just ended up waiting. And hurricanes don't care about timing. They don't care about intentions. They don't care about plans. The problem is that waiting sometimes feels safe where life gets busy, but that's until it isn't. And then your life gets even crazier. So I see this all the time. Homeowners assume they'll have time when a storm shows up, but by the time the storm is actually named, most options are already gone. Manufacturers are backed up, permits slow down, install schedules fill up, and the stress levels go through the roof, no pun intended. At that point, decisions get rushed, and rushed decisions are always bad decisions. So let me explain why protection is different than most home projects. So impact windows and roofing are not necessarily cosmetic upgrades. Obviously, they have a lot of aesthetics to them. They make your home look beautiful, but they're really safety systems. They're protecting your family, especially here in South Florida. So impact windows do two different things. One is that they keep flying debris from entering the home, and they also control pressure inside the structure. That pressure control is huge. When a window fails during a storm, that's when wind typically enters your home. The pressure builds up, and that's when you start to see roofs actually start lifting up. So a lot of roof failures actually start with window failures. So that's something that a lot of homeowners don't realize, that roofing systems are designed to perform against very specific conditions, but they rely on the rest of the home holding up. So windows, doors, openings, it's all connected. And ultimately, windows are going to be your frontline protection against storms. So let's talk about cost, because that's the elephant in the room. So a full impact window project in South Florida usually costs between $15,000 and $45,000. That really depends on a lot of factors, which I'll get into in another video. One of the biggest factors is the size of your home, the number of openings you have, products you choose. At the end of the day, it's a big investment. I get that, but most homeowners don't pay that up front. They can finance it. Typical payments usually land somewhere between $160 and anywhere between $350 per month, depending on the terms and the length of the financing period. And a lot of people get scared of financing. I'm gonna make a lot of videos in the future, really putting together the financing aspect. But those numbers don't magically drop if you wait, but your risk absolutely increases. And here's the part that nobody likes to talk about. After a storm, costs will go up indefinitely, for sure. Materials are going to cost more, labor is going to cost more, it's going to be harder to find, and insurance claims come with stress, delays, and uncertainty. Also made a bunch of videos about insurance claims, and obviously if you live in Florida and you've been through a storm, you know the insurance company does not have your back, regardless of what they say in their advertisement. So preparation is almost always cheaper than recovery. And I want to be clear about something. I'm not here to scare anyone. Fear does not build trust. I'm here to educate you guys. So I've seen too many families deal with damage that could have been prevented, and that's what keeps me up at night. So when I talk about construction, we're not talking about paint colors. We're not talking about finishes. We're talking about protection. And I get it. I completely understand budgets. Not everyone has unlimited money. At the end of the day, I don't either. There's a bunch of projects on my home that I want to do that I've actually had to wait on. But hurricane protection is one of those things where waiting actually removes control. When you plan early, you get options. You have time to compare products. You have time to understand pricing, take a look at the financing, and make the right decision for your family. When you wait until hurricane season and it's already here, you lose that flexibility. And that's when people end up saying, I wish I would have done this sooner. And there's also something else that homeowners don't think about, which is permits. They take time. Manufacturing takes time. Every impact window, there's no custom size. They are completely custom made for every single home. Even standard sizes, once again, they're made to order. So once the hurricane season ramps up, you're competing with everybody else that waited. And trust me, there's a lot of people in Miami and South Florida who wait, and it's not a great position to be in, because you're going to see those lead times jump up. During the slower season, you might be somewhere like 4 to 6 weeks, whereas during hurricane season plus COVID, we saw some crazy lead times. But if you're looking at typical hurricane season, some manufacturers' lead times jump up from 10 weeks, and I've seen as high as 16 weeks on a consistent annual basis. So if you're watching this and you're on the fence, this isn't me telling you to rush. This is me telling you to get informed. Even if you don't move forward right away, information is protection too. Know where your home stands, know what your risks are, know what your options look like, because the worst time to learn these things is during a storm. If it were my family's home, I'd want certainty. I'd want to know that the windows were installed correctly. I'd also want to know that the roof was secure. I'd want to know that corners were not cut, everything was installed as it should be, because once a storm hits, there's no redo, there's no second chance, and responsibility is something I take very seriously. So if you want clarity on your home and you want honest answers without pressure, please reach out to us. We'll walk you through it calmly, honestly. Bigfoot Windows and Roofing, building trust, one window, one door, one roof at a time. Thank you.